go. There you go. Control it. Control it. Control it. Good. Good. Good.
All right, y'all. We back. Another episode, Tips with Coach D. We're teaching these basketball players, teaching our parents, coaches, those little game within the games to help our kids, to help our players get that competitive edge to get to the next level. So what we talking about today? Today we're talking about communication, right? Communication. Our players talking to one another? Are they communicating? And it's pretty interesting, right? Because when the kids are at practice and coaches talking, right, you'll hear the kids talking a little bit. After practice, before practice, they're talking and communicating. Then while they're playing, you don't hear anything, right? And communication is a really big piece to your team's success, to our players' success, right? So we have to teach our kids to make sure that they are talking to their teammates, right? Making sure they're talking their teammates up and not talking their teammates out of something. What do I mean, right? If my teammate makes a bad pass, I'm like, man, come on, man, that was a bad pass. You got it. No, hey, let's go, baby. We'll get the next one, right? My teammate missed the layup. Hey, you got the next one. Don't worry about it, right? We got to make sure that we're talking to our teammates on defense. Hey, I got help. I'm on your right. Pick left, pick right. Switch. Right. One of my favorite coaches I played with or played for back at Texas A&M Commerce, Coach Lawler, he would talk to us about making sure that we're communicating. And he said it should sound like a girls' softball game, right? And at the time, I had never been to a softball game, so I was like, "Oh, what does that mean, right?" And so, probably about 4 years ago, I went to a softball game with Coach Rick Florence, man, and I got to sit in the dugout, and them girls was talking nonstop, talking to the other team's pitcher, talking to each other, like it was a nonstop talking session. And I was like, okay, I get it, right? So our players, our basketball players, they need to be talking to each other, and it should be nonstop talk. Sometimes you'll hear your players say, well, Coach, I did call it. I say, well, did you hear it? And if they say, no, you didn't hear it, well, you didn't say it, right? Especially in practice, right? So if I can't hear you in practice, now we're talking about being in the game where the crowd is into it. There might be some music going on or whatever the case may be, the cheerleaders, right? I got to be able to hear my teammate's voice over all of that, right? So, hey, I got basket, you got ball, I got first pass, you got second pass. Hey, one more, I'm open. Kick it, shot, right? All of these things, right? Communication helps our players get that competitive edge to get to the next level, right? So we got to make sure that we're communicating with our teammates. And then as players, we got to make sure that we communicate to our coach too. And as a coach, I got to make sure that it's okay for my players to communicate to me what they see. Right now, of course, there's a way to do it, right? We're not going to have like the back and forth and the shouting and all that stuff. But, there's a fine line between having passion for what's going on in the course of the game. The competitive juices get flowing. So, your voice tone and all that stuff is going to be a little bit loud. But you got to make sure that we keep it, respectful and nobody's taking nothing personal. It's like we jacked up about the moment. Coach, I see this. They can't guard me. We need to swing it. And you might be right. Well, okay, I see it. All right, let me tell you. Y'all got to swing it. You got the mismatch. Okay. I'd rather have players that communicate to me what they see than hold it in, be frustrated, never say nothing about it, and then complain about it after the fact, right? So you got to make sure that you're letting your thoughts, your feelings be known in the course of the game. Because sometimes, we see stuff from the sideline, and sometimes as a player, we see stuff within the lines that the coach might not see on the sideline. So we got to communicate, and then that helps the players be on the same page with the coach. Because at the end of the day, yeah, coaches, we put the plan, we put the structure in place, but it's a player's game. The players got to play the game. Like, it is your team, it's your game. We provide the structure, we provide the organization for you to do you. So if you see something out there on the court, right, or maybe the space is not right, or maybe when the ball reverses, you got an ISO opportunity, or you got the mismatch down low, whatever the case may be, you as the player have to make sure that you can communicate that with your coach, right? And then again, as the coach, we got to make sure that the players feel comfortable that if they do communicate with us, that we're not going to take it personal, that we actually going to listen to them. Now, we might not do what they say, but they need to feel like, we hear them and that we're listening, right? So that communication piece goes both ways. It's not always about us coaches talking, right? Sometimes that communication piece is us listening to our players and making sure that, that they understand that they have a voice. All right. Communication. I remember a couple of years ago, we were playing Duncanville, and one of the things that I was the most impressed with, of course, they got all the athleticism and all that good stuff, right? But what I was really impressed with was the way that they talked to each other on defense. And it sounded like how you coach players to talk to each other during the 4-on-4 shell drill. Like they actually was playing their defensive set like that. And then just as an assistant coach at the time, being on the bench and understanding, the culture that Coach Peavy has put in place over there. It was really, really awesome to see that from the sideline, that to where you have kids buying in to bring in their practice drill work and bringing it into the game to where it's game-like situation. And if the players wasn't talking on defense, coach was getting them up out of there, right? It was like, I got ball, I got help. Like it was beautiful. Like if you are a basketball head, right? When you see stuff, it doesn't matter if it's your team or other team. Like you got to respect it. You got to tip your hat off to it. And so, there's no, secret on why those teams over there are always, tops in the state and competing on a high level nationally. All right. So communication is really important. So we got to make sure that we letting our players know that they got to communicate to their teammates on the court. Make sure they're talking positively to each other, talking each other up. And then making sure they communicate with their coach something that they see. Hey, coach, this one, when we run this dribble drive, they switching it, coach. What we need to do, and then let your coach give you feedback. All right, or coach, hey, they trapping us on this one, man. I think if we bring somebody up behind the trap, we'll be able to chart around, play 3-on-2, 2-on-1 basketball. We'll be good. All right, we see it. All right, let's get it. Okay, so communication, not only helps our players perform better on the court, but teaching them how to communicate and use their words effectively, right? Of course, that leads to all types of success once they're no longer playing. All right, so that's our episode for today. Communication, making sure our players are communicating on the court so they can get that edge to get them to the next level. All right.